Hi there, welcome back to our channel. In today's video, we are going to show you the construction activities, the cost of building materials, and the quantity that we're going to use for the construction of this 5-bedroom duplex with a penthouse as well as an attached BQ.
This guy is coming today.
On this day, the 15th of March 2025. Stay tuned as we get you the real-time cost of building materials in the markets today.
So, standard how much? 16.2. What about 9.1? Why the one? What about 10? 7, 6, 8, 4, 7. The other one will go. Now we do like I don't need that one. Okay, then what about cement? Okay, this one. 9.8. Jeez. The price that they go up again. This one.
So here I went to check the quality of the 8mm rod that is not standard and not TNT. So after looking at it, I saw that it's not going to hold, it's not going to do the work. So I decided not to buy that one. And at this point, I had gotten all the prices for all the material needed for the project. So here I was trying to make a transfer for what we bought. Now, these are the major prices we got. Number one, the best rod to buy if you want to do a building construction project is TNT, because that's the one that you are very sure of their standard, you're very sure of the size they're giving you. Apart from that, if you want to step down a little bit, you go for GIS. GIS is the one that referred to as the standard. Now, in this particular project, what we bought is GIS because that is number one, what was available, and of course what our budget and also the quality would carry. Now the prices that we got GIS here are as follows. For the 16mm rods, we got it at 16,200 naira. For the 12mm rods, we got it at 9,200 naira. The 10mm rods we got at 7,600, and the 8mm rods at 4,700. The cement we got at 9,800 naira. However, buying cement in bulk will also give you a better deal. For instance, if you're buying a half trailer load or a full trailer load, of course you will get a good discount. Then the binding wire we got at 34,000 naira for the 20 kg. Then for the blocks, the 9 inches blocks are actually sold at 600 naira, between 600 and 700 naira. That is if you want to hand mold will be sold. You can get hand mold between 550 and 600. However, machine mold will be between 650 and 700 naira. Then for the 6 inches blocks, you can get the hand mold between 450 to 500, and the machine engine mold between 500 to 600 naira. Then the head pans, you can get a good quality head pan for 6,500 naira, and the shovels between 6,000 to 6,500 naira. So that is the market survey kind of that we got today when we went to check out the markets, the materials we needed for the project. And here I am with the Umek team, trying to figure out where the first point of the building starts from. So the setting out process starts by picking a reference point as is on drawing, and then from there measuring out the first point of the building as is on drawing. Now this particular building was a bit tricky because the survey plan we got was a bit the angle in the survey plan was a bit more steep than what we saw in the site, so we had to readjust and of course take the necessary offsets from the wall to from the fence to be able to establish the first point. And once we were able to establish the first point, the other points are then easier to get. So here we have gotten the first point, and then taking the tape, we are trying to establish the second point. So once we establish the four corners of the building, then the profile boarding will then start. So as at here, we've gotten the place the building is supposed to stop at. But what we needed to confirm is that the distance from the gate to where the building starts gives us what we had in the drawing, which is at least 6 meters from the gate. And we checked now and confirmed that we have at least 6 meters from the gate, and that means we are good to go. So we can continue establishing the second point of the building. No. To ensure that every corner of the building is squared, what we need to do is, after taking the first line, then we put the square and of course take the next line from the square to get the other corners of the building. And that's what we're trying to check here, trying to get it back. Then once we've gotten the square, then we take the measurements to ensure that we get the exact length of the building, giving allowance for the profile board.
Okay.
So at this point, we've gotten all the four corners of the building and also confirmed that they are all squared. And then the next thing that follows is the putting the profile boards. And as at here, we have completed the profile boarding and the marking out of the foundation spaces and the wall spaces had begun. So this is the team trying to brainstorm on the building and of course mark out all the internal and external spaces of the building. And what we do here is use the 3-inch nails for the foundation space, while we use the 2-inch nail for the block space. This helps us to easily identify which is which when we are trying to set out the building from foundation and trying to do excavation, and of course trying to pick the walls where we want to set out from the foundation. As soon as all the building spaces have been marked, the next thing we do is to tie lines on corresponding nails, right? Particularly for the foundation. Then once we do that, we check if that line at the cross, at the intersection, if they are square. And once we confirm that they are square, that means what we did is correct. But if they are not, then we check where the problem came from and then adjust. And as we checked this one, it was confirmed that it is all square. And then we can then mark out the spaces with sand so that excavation can begin. And at this point, we already had boys on the site waiting for us to finish so that excavation can start. Now is the time to mark out the foundation spaces on the ground. We started with marking it out with sand, but due to the nature of the land, at a point we had to then use shovel to make impressions on the ground to indicate where foundation goes. So after marking out this, and then the excavation begins in full. So that is where we are right now. Now the excavation has started and gone far, and just as the soil test told us, and of course following the recommendation of the structural engineer, it's obvious that this place does not have, is more or less waterlogged. So what we had to do is to first of all blind the space, and after blinding the space, of course, we have our underground beam coming up. So immediately after the excavation, we had to blind, which is using 3/8 sand and a strong mixture of cement to just cover the entire space so that there will not be any mold coming up to attack the reinforcement rods. And as at now, what we are doing is putting our reinforcement rod in place, which is the ground beam. Upon this ground beam will all the columns now come up. So this is a way of ensuring that the foundation is strong enough in case in the future there is any form of settlement. This will help to distribute the load evenly on all the foundation space. So the beam will ensure there is no horizontal movement or differential settlement of the foundation in the near future. So that is what we did here to ensure that the building stands and stands firm. So as soon as we are done with the ground beam, the next thing is to mount the columns following their points as established on the drawing. And here we tie the ropes on the block lines and then bring them out one after the other. And once that has been completed, the next thing that starts is the casting of the foundation. Now here we are using the poker machine to ensure that every air pulse in the concrete goes out, and of course to help the concrete compact very well. Yeah, this is a foundation, so you don't need to play with that. So that's what we're trying to do here. And of course, being that this is a waterlogged area, you also need to make sure that your foundation gets the full strength before anything else. So here, that is what we're doing, casting of the foundation trenches to ensure that we have the necessary thickness. And after that has been completed, the next thing is to set out the block from inside the foundation. And of course, we still use the same line from the profile board. And after picking the line and plumbing it down, then we use the square to confirm that what we did is still correct. Remember, right from setting out, we had to check the square from all the 4 angles of the building and confirm that it was square. So this is another test of confirming that what we are doing is still in the right order. And after confirming this, then we have to now raise the blocks. Of course, one course after another until we get to our DPC. Now, being that this place is waterlogged, yes, it's actually a waterlogged place, but as at now, there is no water in the ground, which is surprising to us, but we still have to ensure that we take this foundation as high as possible. Just for the record, this is about the 4th day of work here. Yes, the first day was setting out an excavation. The second day we had to blind, and the 3rd day we had to do the ground beam. The 4th day we had to do the casting, and this is more or less the 5th day of work here, where we are now setting blocks. So that is where we are at this project right now. So here we have started laying the blocks, having confirmed that the corners, all the angles, all the corners of the building are still perfectly squared. So we now brought out all the external and internal walls, and now is the time to raise them one after the other until we get to our DPC level. Now, what informs our DPC level is a number of things. Number one being that the road has not been constructed, so we have to look at other buildings around, and of course taking reference from the way the road has the place the road has been done, and ensure that we make our foundation higher than that. So here we are going to 6 courses of block. Now there's one magic that happened there. So immediately after we finished forming the blocks that night, it rained, and lo and behold, the whole water we were thinking that we had escaped came out and filled our foundation. So we had to battle with that, as well as all the inconveniences of getting the work up from foundation, until on this day we brought everything out to the DPC level. And just to mention, this is actually the 7th day of work. This project has just been about 1 week since we started it, and we have gotten the blocks to the DPC level. In the next video, we will show you the filling process, and of course the DPC, the casting of DPC, and tell you exactly how much it's cost us to to do this project from foundation to the DPC. And of course, we'll show you the quantity of materials and what it could cost a similar project to do same in today's Nigeria. Thank you for being with us this far, and see you in our next one.